And my gosh, is this blaster T-H-I-C-C thick. Thick. Thick, girl. Thick. It's gonna be thick. Behold, an empty box, because I could not wait any longer to unbox this thing, because I was really excited to get my hands on this thing. In fact, when this showed up, like on YouTube and stuff, like I was so blown away. A little bit of a backstory. This showed up in the Target database around the end of, I would say the end of May. It showed up and it was right next to the Phantom Core Apollo. So people kind of assumed that the Hera would be a reshell of the Zeus because it's an MX7 1200 motorized blah blah blah. And, well, it is technically a Zeus reshell. It is so much better than that. I don't really care that much for Rival. And so if I'm excited for a Rival blaster and I'm giving it a positive recommendation, you know it's something you should check out. This was purchased at Target by my good friend Beret. He bought this for me and I have to pay him back with God knows how many foamy favors. And this is the kind of Target exclusive Phantom Core line. It's under good assumption that this will most likely come out on Amazon and stuff like that in a red and blue variant, but as of right now, that's not confirmed anywhere. And yes, it is a flywheel-powered Rival blaster in the entire Rival line, and it's essentially a Zeus, but it is much better than that. This is an empty box I have already opened up. As you can see, the one Rival round, they always stick in the corner. I don't know why they can't just put all of them on display or something. No, it has to be the one round in the corner, and then you get 11 more in a little baggie in there, because this comes with a 12-round magazine, and it is velocity, 100 FPS, 30 meters per second, motorized, and accuracy. Because it is a Rival, and it is rather, I mean, I can already tell you it hits 100 FPS sometimes, and it is in fact motorized, and it is in fact somewhat accurate. Back of the box shows us the general kind of thing. You do see the Apollo and the Hera, and they are both very similar, except for one is motorized. Then you can see the Chaos and the Artemis and the Zeus, and yeah, that's the Atlas even, only shooting one dart apparently. Am I seeing that right? Yeah, well, I don't know what that's about, but it's only shooting one ball there. Good job, Hasbro. It's compatible with the rechargeable Nerf Rival pack if you happen to own one of those things. I don't. I'm just going to be slamming a 3S LiPo in this thing because I know it's good for it. And, yeah, it doesn't belong to either of the Team Red or Team Blue, which is quite concerning, but it does come with these little clip-on flags that you can put on it to proudly represent what team you're on, or most likely you're not going to be using any of that, because unless you go to, like, a structured arena or some kind of rival league, you're not going to be in any team. You're just going to be on shooting somebody who happens to have the same or different colored blaster than you. And on the side it says Phantom Core, and then on the side it shows you nothing, except for it shows you it's kind of hard to get in there. No, it's really not working. It does show you a new Rival mask, which I'm really happy about. I do like these masks, and this one is a new one. I can't find the old masks anywhere, and this gives me a chance to get another one. I like them. They're good for dremeling, and that's what I use mine for, but they also happen to be really cool. And then if I, right there, yeah, there's the Apollo. Same thing with this Phantom Core kind of design on it, which we will get to right now. This is the Hera. It is really interesting. Now, this does have a 7-round magazine in it because it does come with a 12. Here's this. Nobody cares. 7 rounds look much better in this. I know that's what, like 5 less balls? I don't care. I like the 7s in there. I'm going to be trying to get as many 7-round magazines as I could possibly obtain. Unfortunately, they only ever came with the friggin' Apollo, and the new Apollo doesn't come with a 7, it comes with a 12! I am actually upset about this turn of events, but this is the Hera, and you will notice it looks friggin' sweet. It's the only thing this thing is missing is a grip guard. My gosh, Hasbro, did you miss out putting a grip guard on this thing? It's got a beautiful thumbhole kind of stock wireframe stock thing right here with a comfortable butt pad that all this is just plastic, by the way. There's nothing special on there. It does have the beautiful Rival marking right here, which is only on one side, of course. And this kind of mask right here, like very Greek, Roman, I don't know exactly. It looks like the ones from 300, so, I mean, whatever, Spartan! I guess, that's the only thing I could think of. And it says Nerf, Rival, and MX. It doesn't actually say Hera anywhere on the blaster, which is somewhat interesting. Looking over the features of the blaster, you've got a jam clear door right there. for the horizontal flywheels, which is a bit of a doozy change from the vertical flywheels we've been seeing in every other blaster. I do believe the Nemesis has vertical flywheels as well, or horizontal, but I don't have one I don't remember off the top of my head, so I may be wrong about that. And my gosh, is this blaster THICC thick. It is very thick. For comparison, if I grab the good old, yeah, that's the Zeus. It's like half the width. And if we get the Apollo in here, what the heck? The Hera is a very, very thick girl. And, well, it doesn't bother me all that much, except for it does ruin any kind of ability to do any kind of, well, we'll talk about that in a moment, but oh man, is she pretty. Can I just gush about this for a second? This beautiful wire, like, frame, thumbhole stock kind of thing right there. I don't even know what you'd call that. The grip is the biggest, blackest grip I have ever got my hands on ever. It is massive. It is, this is the Apollo, and I can comfortably hold the Apollos. In fact, I will get that right there. Yeah, pretty good. I can barely pull the trigger on the Hera. It is thick. Everything about this blaster is thick. And then you got the Zeus, which is absolutely friggin' tiny. Look at that. Toddler can grab this thing. And I have pretty average small hands, and this thing is actually difficult to hold. So keep that in mind if you're a young kid and you want this thing. You might not even be able to hold on to it. The stock is going to be your best friend, that's for sure. And the front of this thing looks absolutely amazing. I love what they did with the orange styles right there, with all this nice molding lines right here. Lots of surface detail pops out on this thing with a beautiful kind of muzzle shroud thing. And if you look down there, you can see the hop-up front and center, really easy to understand. And then, of course, this bright orange sight at the front of it, even though there's no rear sights, which, well, I guess they're just trying to get home the point that this thing doesn't really, I mean, it's supposed to be accurate, but again, we're missing back sights, so we can't really aim with it all that well. And then, of course, a rev trigger. Very, very nice. Trigger right here, which of course will fire the blaster, which we'll get to in just a moment. And then the mag release and the mag. And yes, you will reload this blaster just like the Apollo, which is great and very, very nice, I might add. And even with the 7-rounder, you just go like that, slam another one in, good to go. And that is kind of the whole different feature of the Hera, as it does have, in fact, a different firing mechanism slightly. I mean, it's still flywheel driven with the horizontal flywheels, but a different reloading mechanism as well, which drives the question, is that worth $10 frickin' more than the Zeus? I mean, the Zeus was $50 when it came out, and I honestly didn't think the Zeus was worth it. I thought the Zeus was basically cheating. It had an inline 12-round magazine, and the magazine pushed the ball into the flywheels, and the only thing stopping it was kind of a slip plate that was, you know, like went down when you pulled the trigger and then slipped and went back into place, so it would only fire one. This doesn't do that. This thing actually has, and it's going to be nearly impossible to see on camera, but it has a wheel. And when you pull the trigger, the wheel rotates and spins a ball into the flywheel. Slightly more engineering went into this one, and I appreciate that because I feel less cheated getting this thing for $60 as opposed to getting it for $50 and getting something that literally, if I just remove one piece of plastic, it will dump the entire magazine into the flywheels. This, not so much. So that comes with the whole fact is this thing going to work like the Zeus and you're going to be able to pull the trigger and empty tons of balls really, really quickly and make proton packs out of it? That's up for debate. Now, it does use this wheelie kind of system, and if you wanted to completely, there we go. If you wanted to completely remove the functional plastic trigger and replace it with an electronical one, and then motorize the little spinning wheel thing, you could get a pretty kick-butt rate of fire out of this thing. That's if you want to do that, and I don't know how many people besides Out of Darts are going to do that, but I already know, and I think everybody already knows what I want to do to this thing, and that is, of course, make it a pistol. And that's not entirely fair, because this blaster looks amazing stock. I mean, this thing is one of the best-looking Nerf blasters ever conceived, and yet I still want to ruin it more by putting a, well, pistol on it. I mean, all this back here, this is all battery tray. You don't need any of it. You could cut it off pretty much right here, and you'd still be fine because all of the electronics and well, not all the electronics, but all the mechanisms and everything in the flywheels are up front. And then there's enough space back here to just put in a LiPo battery and wire it up to a 3S LiPo, and these stock motors will be able to handle that, and you have yourself an unmitigated beast. Is this gonna be better than the Nemesis? Because the Nemesis is apparently the end-all of every Nerf blaster ever made, period, because it's so grandiose and amazing. Yeah, actually, this thing is probably a little more reliable than the Nemesis, so there's a reason to have this thing. The fact that you can cut it up and make it into a pistol and have like an Uzi or a, the machine pistol or something like that, even though, again, single fire, that, well, it's gonna be thick, but it's gonna be cool. I really, really like this blaster. I think the Hera is a blaster everybody should probably look into getting. It is a lot of fun. It is as expensive as every other friggin' Hasbro thing ever made is, but it's also really cool, and I really, really like it. So if my bias doesn't exactly show, and it doesn't, convince you that this thing is good, well, that's on you, it's on me, but I just love the look of this thing. I love the way it fires. It hits over 100 FPS with every other shot. It's like average of 98 something, which is actually pretty hot for a rival blaster, in my opinion. Usually the motorized ones average around 90, 93. This one's a little bit hotter than that, and it is powered normally by 6 C-cell batteries, which are not cheap, but you could, of course, get the rival battery pack for $25, $30, or just wire it up to a LiPo if you already have those, and I'm willing to bet if you're already a modder and you own plenty of rival stuff, you probably own a LiPo setup as well, so you're probably not going to miss anything. And if you don't want to, convert it to use a LiPo or anything like that, it's gonna be a little heavy with that rechargeable battery pack or the 6 C-cell batteries, but honestly, really freaking cool. And these little things, they're okay. I mean, they're actually, for what they are, pretty decent quality, all things considered. It's just like a strap material with a plastic hook on it that you can just flip right there. And, of course, the hook is messed up in the packaging. And look at that, I'm on Team Blue. Yeah, there's quite a bit to love here. Again, magazine, 12 balls, thing itself, no batteries, gotta buy batteries, 60 bucks. Does come with these little tassel things, which is, well, I kind of wish they sold these, separately, because, you could totally use them for something like team marking. I mean, these are nice for what they are. The plastic clips suck horribly, but, I mean, these are really cool, and I kind of hope they bring these around more in the future. That's just one man's opinion. Let me know what you think about the Nerf rival Hera down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear if I got it right or wrong. And, of course, I'm Walcom S7's hands, and I hope to see you in an entirely different video. Thank you very much for watching. I did that out of order. Nah, nobody cares.